each of these covenants relates to Christ. Each of these covenants relates to Christ. Of course, first of all, we have the Edenic covenant. And here we see that it relates to Christ as Christ as the second man and the last Adam. We see that in 1 Corinthians 15:45. This takes the place of over all things which the first Adam lost. And we can see that in Colossians 2:10, Hebrews 2:7-9. Then we have the Adamic covenant. We see that Christ is the seed of the woman. We see that in Genesis 3:15, John 12:31, Galatians 4:4, 1 John 3:8, Revelation 20:10. And we see that this he fulfilled the conditions of toil and obedience. And we see that in Mark 6:3, Philippians 2:8, and Hebrews 5:8. Then we have the Noahic covenant. He was the greatest son of Shem. In him was fulfilled supremely the promise to Shem. And we see that in Genesis 9:16, Colossians 2:9. And we see on the Abrahamic covenant that Christ is the seed to whom the promises were made in the Abrahamic covenant. We see the son of Abraham was obedient unto death, just like Christ was obedient unto death. We see that in Genesis 22:18, Galatians 3:16, Philippians 2:8. And then fifthly, we have one of the two big ones here. We have the Mosaic covenant, and we see that Christ lived sinlessly under the law. He fulfilled the law to perfection. Okay, to perfection. He was the only one to do so. He was the only perfect person to do so. No one else could keep the law. No one else could keep the law. And so he bore it for us. He bore it for us, its curse. And we see that in Galatians 3:10-13. So we see that he fulfilled the law to perfection. And then we have the Palestinian covenant. He lived obediently as a Jew in the land, and yet perform its gracious promise later on. We see that in Deuteronomy 28:1-39. Seventh, we see in the Davidic covenant, he is the seed, he is the heir, and he is the king under the Davidic covenant. We see that in Matthew 1:1, Luke 1:31-33. And then finally, we see the other big one, the new covenant. We see that his sacrifice is the foundation of the new covenant. Without his sacrifice, without what he went through and what he did for us, there is no new covenant. Without Jesus' sacrifice, without his blood sacrifice, there is no New Testament. There is no new covenant without that. And so the big one that we live under and that we have the hope in is the New Testament. Bless you. Twice. Cut it out. But we see that. The new covenant, without his blood, without his sacrifice, without what he did for us at the cross of Calvary, there is no new covenant. There is no New Testament. But glory to God. We have it. Amen. We have that. We have the new covenant. So there's the 8 covenants of God, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, there's a lot here that we didn't get to go into, but I really enjoyed this study, and maybe one day in Sunday school we'll dig a little deeper into it. But that's the 8 covenants of God. So I appreciate you guys paying attention, and I hope you got something out of it.